When you look at the Bengals, it's a team whose offense kind of mirrors the ones that have given the Browns a little bit of trouble. When you look at the Chargers and the teams with the quarterback who can throw the ball downfield. So defense kind of needs to come and really be ready to play. Is it fair to say?
Yes, absolutely. And they don't know yet if they'll have Denzel back. They don't know for sure if they'll have John Johnson back. So yeah, this is going to be a big game. Now, fortunately for them, Greg Newsome is playing very well, and Greedy Williams is playing very well. That has taken the sting out of Denzel Ward missing this past game, and Greedy filled in nicely for Greg a couple of games. So they're pretty darn lucky that Greedy has had the season that he's had so far. In fact, if you look at those Pro Football Focus ratings, he is ranked the highest Browns cornerback right now. So good for him for that. But John Johnson III, that's going to be a big loss. You don't want to start getting too far down into your safety depth in a game like this. Joe Mixon's going to come in, play with his hair on fire, and then we just have seen, for the most part, how good Joe Burrow can be when he's on.
You and I had talked about the Bengals earlier and how they had some intriguing young talent. That young talent is playing pretty well. I mean, they went in and you mentioned disappointing loss to the Jets. They beat up the Ravens, and so I think the Browns are going to get pretty much the Bengals' best shot coming in on Sunday. Would you agree with that?
Yes, they definitely will. But there are a few little areas of vulnerability. You know, Joe Burrow can be sacked. He was sacked. I think the Jets got to him at least 3 times in that game. And he's been sacked a fair amount this season. So this could be one of those games that if they don't chip Myles Garrett with a running back or a tight end, it could be a little bit of a long afternoon for Joe Burrow. And, and we have seen Myles do that to Joe Burrow, like he did last year in the first game where he's, with the sack fumble. So, yes, the Browns are going to have to bring their A game. They're going to have to bring their intensity, and they're going to have to bring a passing game that we haven't seen yet.
You mentioned Joe Burrow has been sacked 20 times, so just 2 less than Baker Mayfield, and he's coming off that knee injury. He's not real mobile. The other thing is the Bengals defense has definitely improved, but they gave up a ton of yardage to Michael Carter, rookie running back. So there are some areas, Nick Chubb, Dearness Johnson, and the Browns running game and short passing game can exploit as well.
Absolutely. And, the Browns, didn't do a good job of winning their one-on-one battles up front in order to give Nick an opportunity to really, tear it up against the Steelers. He's going to have to do better, but I think you can use more of Dearness Johnson too. I mean, Nick was coming off of a calf injury. So in a situation like that, I think I would have gone with the hot hand a little bit more and just given Dearness Johnson a chance to see if he could, recreate some of the magic he had from the week before. And they gave it to him a few times, but 4 isn't really enough to get into the flow of the game. So let's see if they do that any differently this week. They're still going to miss Kareem Hunt this week. That won't help matters. And we'll have to see, is Odell Beckham Jr. still going to be on the team? Will he be playing in Cincinnati? That's going to be the big mystery for a day or two.
When you look at the Bengals, that's also a team historically that Baker Mayfield's played pretty well against.
Well, he had one of his best games in Cincinnati last year. Of course, he sort of, lit up, and was that coincidence or not, after Odell Beckham Jr. was out of the lineup, left early on Baker's first pass with that torn ACL. And then Baker kind of got in the zone after that. And he threw that game-winning touchdown pass to Donovan Peoples-Jones to pull that victory out in the end. It's one of the only, there haven't been a whole lot of games where Baker has just gone down and won the game for you in the end. And he did it in Cincinnati. And, that was a game that I think really showed the Browns. After that game, I think they really felt like, we've got our guy. This is him. That's what we wanted to see. He did it. Now, I think there were some extenuating circumstances in that game. I don't think the defense for Cincinnati was 100% all there and bought into the program at the time. There were some weird things going on the sideline with guys putting their houses up for sale in that game. But still, I think that it was Baker Mayfield kind of putting himself on the Browns map and saying, I'm your man.
So Baker's 5-1 against the Bengals, and I'm not asking necessarily for a prediction. How do you think this kind of plays out, the game against the Bengals in Cincinnati?
I think it's going to be a dogfight, just like it was last year in Cincinnati, right until the end. I think it's going to be a really, really tough battle. I think it's going to be very, very physical. I think Baker's going to come out with his hair on fire. I mean, look, the events of this week, I think he will use for motivation. I mean, he has, one of his top receivers' fathers putting out or reposting a video showing all the times that he's missing Odell Beckham Jr. Sometimes that's what Baker needs to get his mad face on, and he plays well when he's got a little bit of an edge to him at times. So I think he's going to come out and do a nice job. Jarvis is going to come out mad at himself. I know Myles Garrett is ready to step it up a notch. I think they're going to bring it.